Simcha, celebration, Simcha, Simcha, celebration of life.
Hi, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm your host, Eitan Berger. Eliakim Cohen, armed with a computer, created a Facebook page to promote Judaism. And as of October 2013, his following had reached the 1 million mark. But to get to this goal, he went through a life-changing experience that created a new purpose for him to pursue.
You know, the Kohanim are known as just really strong, powerful, dedicated Jews towards different causes. And when I look back on my family history, the Kohanim on my mom's side are all like huge community organizers in New York. One of them started Young Israel. I mean, very powerful chashuva people. So, you know, you always wonder where your genes come from. So as I started looking back more, you know, I found this, you know, element of my family that was all Kohanim. And, you know, really, their whole life is based on helping the klal. And no, I do feel that, you know, when you get up in the morning and we duchen, you know, the bracha comes from Shemayim through us to the klal. So I do feel that there's more an added responsibility as a Kohen to teach. My goal was always to have just a massive network of people to promote sort of the agenda that matters most to me, which is, you know, Torah, Eretz Israel. So I wanted to have a big enough forum that I could say it and people might listen. I mean, I started doing like blogs, and then I realized I couldn't really hit my audience just from words. So then I started doing like a 15-minute TV show every day. So I did that for 5 months in 2011. And then I realized the audience still wasn't big enough. So I decided if I can start a Facebook page, put some money in it to do Facebook ads to get a large enough amount of people, that things could really progress. Then I thought, all right, the number that really like mattered most to me was getting to 1 million. So Baruch Hashem, like in middle of 2013, we hit 1 million. And then I decided that, you know, I was posting everything for everybody else, that I needed to start, you know, my own thing, like on a website that people could go back to months later and find different articles, you know, like I think it's the Kafeng Jews in China. There's like interesting stuff coming out of there. So I'm always trying to find things that, you know, let people know that, you know, we're all over the world, you know. There's some very interesting things going on. Different food customs, different whatever. Try and give people a hodgepodge of information to make them feel connected to people all over the world. That's really how it started. And thank God it snowballs and, you know, the page views are going up. More and more people are seeing it. It's very fun. I mean, I love getting up in the morning and going to work, which, thank God, not so many people can, you know, can say that they can do. I mean, I became religious 6 years ago from a high-speed car chase on cocaine from the police. So I was the most secular, dysfunctional person on earth. And when I was sitting in jail, I decided I really want to like come back to my roots. I had no idea what being religious was, even though I had religious grandparents. Elver Shalom. I've always felt so connected to Judaism, I just never knew why. So I was facing 15 to 30 years in jail. I ended up settling with them for 2 weeks. I only served 4 days. I got in jail on a Wednesday. Come Friday night, it was really the essence of what the world is. I'm in a cell by myself with God. And you like, I really felt it. I mean, it was one of the most powerful Shabbats, you know, that I've had. And it was sort of at that moment that I realized sort of how far I've come. You know, from doing drugs daily, parties, clubs. I mean, that's all I cared about was just, quote unquote, having fun. And then to just be sitting in a jail cell alone, you know, with my tefillin and my tzitzit and my kippah and whatever, it was very special. So in jail initially, I decided, you know, if I ever get out, which I didn't think I was, it's very serious charges, that I would, you know, start meeting with this rabbi that my aunt had recommended a few months earlier. And so I got out on a Monday. I went to shul Friday night for Shabbat. I started learning with him 1 week later on that following Monday. And it was just like cobwebs clearing. Like life just sort of started making sense. I mean, yeah, I really started feeling like I was missing something in life. You know, seemingly I had a great life. Anything I wanted to do, I did. You know, I was making good money at my parents' business. Parties, fun, girls, whatever, but I was miserable. So I kept thinking, like, how is that possible? That seemingly you have everything, but I feel like I have nothing. And then as you delve more and more into Judaism, you see, you know, really what the essence of life is. How you relate to, you know, God and other people, and more importantly, to yourself. I mean, that's really what the Torah is. It's like a, you know, a cookbook for your soul. Gives you the life lessons, you know. It's not this crazy, ancient, fascist book that you know, the modern world thinks it is. Most people have no clue other than Adam and Eve and, you know, the basic stories you learn in Hebrew school. They really don't see the depth and the beauty of our history. And it's the saddest thing, you know? And there's so many people that are so proud to be Jewish, but they don't know why. Like, I never knew why. I never knew why I wanted to join a Jewish fraternity, why all my good friends were Jewish, why I always felt a connection to, you know, being around Jews. There's a feeling, like, in your soul that a lot of Jews have, and they have no idea why. And, you know, so if scanning my page, they find something about Hanukkah that's interesting to them, then everything, you know, is worth it. To make one person feel a little bit better, or feel a little bit more attached to Israel, or be able to say to their friends that it's not called the West Bank, it's called Judea and Samaria. You know, little things like that mean the world to me, so I'm trying to bring that to the public.
Dr. Linus Pauling once said that satisfaction of one's curiosity is one of the greatest sources of happiness in life. Today, Rabbi Shishler elaborates on curiosity in his series about change.
One of our greatest gifts as human beings who are hardwired to want to change and transcend ourselves and become someone better is the gift of curiosity. And of course, we all have it in varying degrees. But the fact of the matter is, when something happens out there, we want to know what happened. When we see something for the first time, we want to understand, why is it this way? How does it work? Why did it have to work that way? It's just built into the human mind to probe and to think and to explore. If we didn't have that hardwiring of curiosity, we would never have had all the advancements of history. We would never have discovered big parts of our world and certainly parts of our solar system. When it comes to curiosity, it's a tremendous value, it's a tremendous asset that we have. Question is, how do you use it as a tool to become more than just curious? How do you use it as a tool to become someone who changes, someone who transforms, someone who transcends who they used to be, which ultimately is one of the primary goals of being human. Now, of course, the simplest way is to say the curiosity to study more. King David is famous for having said, what makes me smart is the fact that I learned something from everybody. You know, conventional thinking often tells us that the cleverest person around is the person who teaches everybody else. But Jewish thinking tells us the cleverest person around is the person who can learn something from every person. Now, that's quite a transcendent position, because usually if you're an expert in a particular field, say medicine, engineering, physics, finance, you will become used to people perking up and listening to your opinion on your particular subject. In fact, you run the risk of being a little bit smug when somebody else offers an opinion on that subject. Now, true curiosity and true study is the ability to say, I'll even let go of all my expertise. I'll even let go of everything that I believe that I know, to be open to hear what someone else or another book has to teach me. And that's where true learning happens. True learning happens when we open our minds to hear something without walking in with a presupposition, with a bias. This is how I think it should be. That is closing ourselves to the opportunity to change. Because when we think we already know the answers, we close ourselves from hearing what other answers might be out there. Quite along the lines of when Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, many other physicists felt it can't work this way. So you could close yourself to learning, which means you could close yourself to the opportunity to change because of new information by believing that what you know is what you know, and what you know must be correct. They say in the Talmud that when a student sits in front of his teacher, the student is supposed to be like a blank page. They even tell a story of one of the greatest Talmudic scholars who was absolutely fluent in everything that the Talmud had recorded up until that point, over 1,000 years of information collated from the time of Moses. And he then undertook a new area of study. Before he undertook the new area of study, he went through a whole grueling process to clear his mind of everything he had known until that point, so that he could be genuinely open to hear new information without coloring that information with his preconceptions. Now, that's one of the great tools that we have and unfortunately don't use often enough. The tool of saying, I'm curious, I'd like to know new information as the information is, not as I would like it to be. So here's a tool for change and transcendence, which is the tool of saying, maybe I don't know what I think I know. Or maybe there's new information I should open myself to hear, which could revolutionize everything about what I know.
Sadly, that's all we have time for this week's episode of Simcha. As always, it's been great having you join us. We love hearing from you, so please drop us a line on Facebook at Spirit Sister Productions. From myself, Eitan Berger, and the whole team here at Simcha, have a great week and goodbye.